Good morning. Welcome. Trust you all been good, everybody. Lovely to have you with us. A reminder about our social media options if you're on Twitter and or YouTube for Racing TV, WhatsApp group. It's all up there for you guys. And please take a note of all that information. We're out at Hollywood Bets Kenilworth. Darren Burrows won't be with us this weekend, but there's a contribution naturally, and Daryl Marie is in the studio, so we can talk about what this program looks like. We did promise you one for Saturday, and we've got one for you. So we'll start. Maybe we should start as early as, should we start now and say this is the horse? Early, go in early.
I'm not willing to.
You'll wait for the race.
Yes.
Okay, we'll wait for the race. All right, Daryl, he's strict, eh? Okay, but the first race anyway, 1,200 metres, and Coastal Commander Vaughan Marshall, top of the boards at 5-2, favourite, and it's a 1,200 metre. The course we race on now is it's the new course, right?
The winter course.
It's the winter course. That's
short
correct.
running.
So that's the point. Is the shorter straight. Okay, what do you make of the first, Mr. Marie?
The first leg of the
I
Bipod.
beg your pardon, the second race,
Yes.
first leg of the Bipod. Yes, correct.
Clyde, there's quite a bit of October Morn to work with over here. Now, we all know that October Morn finished, I think, second, if I'm not mistaken, in the winter nursery. It was a grade 3 behind Distant Winter. Now, on that form, Oni San, number 11, holds quite a few. But I actually watched that replay and I was very impressed with the progress Lip Sync made from run 1 to run 2. So I can see a reverse in that form, but I'm not quite convinced with Juveniles. Oni San, since then, the stable has certainly turned and come to form, so I respect her. I've even thrown in number 4 of Trey Schick, Richard Fourie for Justin Snaith. She's been moderate to date, but once again, she's lightly raced. And of the first timers, I've added in number 1 of There's a comment in the front of the computer form. They say she's got a quartet chance. That's Lady Look-alike.
Well, Brett Crawford's been in great form as well. Okay, well, it is the start of the Bipod, as you heard. Race 2 we're talking about now. So let's have a look at what the guys are doing in terms of a commitment. Daryl going 1, 4, 8 and 11 in the leg 1 by 1, 2, 9 and 10. Then in the third leg of the Bipod, which is race number 4 on the card, Daryl's bankering the 7 horse over there. That's Apple Catcher. Following leg is bankering the 6 Marshall Field, then 1 and 5, and then 1 and 7 at 64 Rand. On to the third race now. We go with the 1,200 metres, and here Justin Snaith and Richard Fourie pair up, priced up 14-10 with this horse on the card, number 9, William West. But you have respect for one or two others in the race?
Absolutely, Clyde. I think 14-10 is far too short. I expect him to drift considerably. He was rested after his second start, came back, decent effort. A little bit concerned about that form line. Hasn't stood up. But he's a juvenile, so he's got scope for further improvement. Number 10, Cafe Culture, Clyde, the 3-year-old. They brought him back in trip, put a set of blinkers on him last time out. He improved. So there are some winners from that form. In
Mighty Mac. Yeah.
And the third place runner won indirectly. I think he won a work rider event.
Right.
So I don't think the form on offer here is that strong. Number 2, Director's Cut. I thought his best effort to date has been up the straight. He's been rested and gelded. The comment in the front of the book says he will need the run, but I think he's better than what his form suggests to date. And take note if there's any betting support for number 1, Future Gem. The comment is very, very positive, Clyde. Will run well. So if there is going to be a first timer to focus on in this race, it could possibly be the one. But once again, Clyde, I touch on this each, and it sounds like I keep on harping on this.
Yeah.
But lightly raced horses, I don't go into.
Yeah, it's tough to read into.
Yeah.
I see Daryl Keegan DeMello's not at this meeting, but he's riding on Sunday. So
Yes.
you think it was just like a day off or something?
Possibly.
I didn't ask, to be honest. So
I'll check now. Maybe he was suspended. I'll have a look now.
yeah. All right. Well, interesting. This is what we've got for you. Place accumulators. The third race on the card. We'll go through Darren Burrows' PA, and in his case, he says he wants to bank a number 10 here. in the first leg of the place accumulator. That's Cafe Culture. By 2, 3, 7, 11, 12. Then he's bankering the 6 Marshall Field. Then he's going 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, and 9. So a lot of horses there. He wants to banker the 7 Happy Chance. He rates that quite strongly today. Or on Saturday. Then 1, 4, 6, 9, and 10. And the last leg 4, 6, and 10. And that's a 450 Rand per. Daryl's got one for you too. He's also going 1, 2, 9, 10. He's bankering the 7 by banker 6, by 1 and 5, by 1 and 7, by 4, 6, 8, 9, and 10. And to make up his 240 Rand exotic, in the last leg he's going with all of 3, 4, and 6. Let's go on to race number 4 now, guys. Have a look at what we're looking at here. This is start of the pick 6 naturally with the 10 races going. It's a maiden class field. It's an open maiden plate, just so that you know, over 1,200 metres. Let me have a look at the early market whilst we do this on Friday, where Paddy Crayer's got Applecatcher. It does look like the right horse, the 7, Applecatcher. It's priced up at 22 to 10, and you can get 7 to 2 about the rest of the field. What do you make of the favourite?
Very, very hard to beat despite having to lump weight all round, Clyde. I actually think this filly's got ability. Her debut effort was very decent. Since then, a touch of grace has won 3, if I'm not mistaken. Her second start, they expected her to win. Hikomi Boki has won again subsequently. Last time out, you can just put a line through that effort. She was over racing, much better than that. She's back up the straight. Clyde, I've had a look at this field closely because usually open maidens spring a surprise. Something carrying less weight.
Like a
comes
Shruti
into contention, yeah. But I think she's better than what she meets here, and she's going to go on with it. She's certainly not going to retire a maiden winner. A horse that could possibly improve on her latest efforts is number 3, On Board. Take note, she does get fitted with blinkers and the tongue tie comes off. So she reverts in distance back up to 1,200. I think she could be Applecatcher's biggest danger.
Okay, so On Board, and that's another stable that's been ticking over very nicely, and it's a pick 6 race 4. Let's get into it. We'll have a look at what the recommendation is from Darren, and he's going wider, so he wants to go 1, 2, 3, 7, 10, and 12 in the first leg. By second leg, 4, 5, and 6. Then he's gone the field in the following leg, the 6th race on the card. He wants to bank a Happy Chance. He thinks that's the right horse. I remember him saying earlier in the week that Happy Chance is for him one of the better bets on the card, and that, by the way, is 22 to 10 on Friday. Then 1, 4, 6, 9, 10, and the last leg 1, 3, 4, 6, 10, and 11. Back. Okay, welcome. Race number 5. Let's talk about the race. This particular event, race number 5, is when I give you the identifications, a maiden class field. It's over 1,800 metres, and they've got this horse number 6, Marshall Field, who's top of the boards at 28 to 10. Second choice is number 4, Green Mandarin, who's trading at 33 to 10. And number 5, Final Edition, is trading at 7 to 2. It's 11 to 2 about the others. But Daryl's got a message for you, haven't you?
Yeah, Clyde. Let's hope this horse number 6 Marshall Field gets lucky in running this time around, because I will be shocked to see him get beaten. His later start, we watched this race, that race very carefully.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Keegan DeMello met interference twice, cost this horse victory. There's no doubt he would have won by a good few lengths if it was but for the interference. His penultimate start, he was also cramped on the inside running rail. Mornay Vinar is, with no disrespect, he's riding out of his skin currently since his return from his layoff. But
that's good to know.
He's the reason this horse is still 28 to 10. If Keegan DeMello or Richard Fourie was on, he'd be close to 16 to 10. He is really a good thing on paper. Green Mandarin, another one that didn't get the clearest of passages last time out. I don't think you can compare the form. The form around him was suspect. Oh. But in saying that, he's having his peak run. Richard sticks for him. So I'm going to say he's Marshall Field's biggest danger. The balance of the field are going to have to find on what they've currently shown to date. So for me, I think you can empty out on the exacta 6 from 4. Marshall Field, the best bet of the weekend.
Okay, there we go. Told you we had one for you. And he says, well, you can still get 28 to 10. I see there hasn't been a single runner yet from Donderstorm's form line, so this will be the very first. So let's hope Morne Vinna, as Daryl says, is riding particularly well, I believe, which is good to hear. Gets this home for Lucinda. Right, this is the plan in terms of what Darren Burrows is recommending. Whilst we're all very keen on Marshall Field, Darren does always have a conservative approach, so he does rate 4 and 5 as natural dangers. There's Green Mandarin in final edition. By the field in the following leg, then you know about that 7 that he's bankering. We've been talking about that throughout the show. He likes, he's very big on Happy Chance. And the last leg of his jackpot, 1, 4, 6, 9 and 10. Race number 6 on the card. Let's have a look at this 1600 meter event. And this event is an open maiden class field again. It is the distance here is the mile. And have a look at the market. I'll give you an idea as to what the guys are talking about. At the moment, number 9, Fellow and Cora is top of the boards at 5 to 2. Second choice, number 1, Go Like Flow at 7 to 2. And then after that, Daryl, they got 8 to 1. Is it those two, or are you going wider? And it's 8 to 1 bar 2.
Have a look, it's an open maiden, right?
Yeah,
so basically a handicap.
Right.
On paper, number 5, Blind Faith, is 4 kilograms better off with Go Like Flow for a length and a quarter beating. Now, if you watch that replay, Blind Faith was closing in hand over fist, and she's going to love the extra 200 meters. But if you just read into that race, the leader, Misty Cliffs, and Go Like Flow were basically at each other's throat for the entire length of the straight. So Cornet's obviously come back to Andre Nel and said, let's take the blinkers off because we gain the extra 200 meters. You'll give her more of a patient ride. And despite the turnaround in weight, I'd expect Go Like Flow to confirm that form with Blind Faith. I'm not looking past the two of them.
Okay. Well, it's interesting, Go Like Flow going the mile for the first time as well, eh? So that may well be to its favour. Let's take a look at the recommended bet for this race. Our suggestion is that Daryl's saying let's do the swingers. He makes it a match race with the 1, Go Like Flow, and giving utmost respect to the 5, Blind Faith. Okay, let's get to race 7. This is the World Sports Betting Ladies Mile. It is run over the mile naturally. Reminder, Weighted to Win's also on Twitter. If you've got an account, you go to our handle @Weighted to Win, a WhatsApp group that you can join us at any given time, or for Racing TV, or the show's also uploaded onto YouTube as well. Well, this is an interesting event. It's the race that I've been telling you Darren Burrows is making Happy Chance hard to beat, who's current favourite, priced up at 22 to 10. The likes of 5, Love is a Rose, you can get thereabouts 5 to 1. With the 9, Quintus Light, also trading around 5, 6 to 1. And then I think there's one other in there going up. That's right. Who's at 6 to 1. Then it's double figures about the others. But he's very big on Happy Chance. Daryl, what's your take on this?
Yeah, Clyde, she's a lovely sort. Last time I don't think the margin does her manner in which she won that race justice. I thought she won with a bit in hand. Louis only really asked her to quicken inside that final furlong, and although Quintus Light was gutsy, I think she won easier than that margin suggests. That was her second run after a rest. Now she's having a peak run. She's actually better off with quite a few of those that she beat. So if you're looking at the Happy Chance form, one would expect her to confirm and beat those that she beat last time out. So if there is going to be a danger, I'm looking elsewhere. And this filly, number 1, going up, is very, very talented. She's versatile too. I mean, she can go from 6 furlongs up to 1800. We saw her finish close up in I think it was a Stormbird last year, or Storm's Flay. And I really think Aldo will suit her because she quickens so well, but Aldo can just take a seat on her and give her confidence and build up underneath him. So Happy Chance from going up for me, Clyde.
Okay. Well, of course, Happy Chance took her chances in the Fillies Guinea. She got within 3 lengths or so of Make It Snappy, so there's no doubt she's got the ability. And Daryl's spot on in terms of the manner that she won last time, albeit distance-wise, it only shows, what is it, a neck or a half a length, I'm not sure. She seemed to have a lot more to come. Okay, well, then let's take a look at what the recommendations are for this. Daryl's taking a second jackpot. He's made it those two, 1 and 7, by field, by 3, 4, 6, by 1, 2, 4, and 7. Now that jackpot works out to 240 Rand. Darren Burrows, you know by now, I'm sure, he says he's going straight in and taking the 22 to 10 about number 7, Happy Chance. Now we go on to the World Sports Betting Legal Eagle Stakes. It's a Group 3. It's over 1,800 metres and attracted a solid field. Yeah, we'll have a look at what the betting suggests on the Friday, where I personally think Rockpool's going to take a bit of beating myself, but priced up at 2 to 1 to win it. Richard Fourie and Justin Snaith, a team up, of course, and the Snaith's yards also got 10 Hoedspruit in there. They second choice at 5 to 1, and they've also got the 4. It's Raining William, who's the third choice in the market, priced up at 11 to 2. And it hasn't finished because they got the 4th favourite with Pomp and Power, who's priced up at 6 to 1. So they have a very, very strong hand here. I mean, if you were playing poker with them now, and they hold in the royal flush, yeah, aren't they? I would imagine.
Yeah.
Or not. Or is there going to be...
They're the bank or what?
Yeah, they're the bank. Tell me, or is there something else in there that's going to surprise them?
Yeah, very interesting race, Clyde. Now, obviously, last time out in the Derby, Rockpool finished about 5 lengths behind Without Question, and there's a lot of Without Question form here. He's been rested and gelded, so let's see how he comes back as a gelding, because he's a high class quality individual. If you have a look at the ratings, Clyde, the best weighted is Pomp and Power, and Cabello reunites with him, and his best career run to date was in the Mets. With Cabello. But on his later start, you can't fancy him because he's well held. Hoedspruit's made lovely progress since returning from his long rest. He's one of the leading lights of here. It's Raining William actually holds Hoedspruit. He's 2.5 kilograms weight off, but now they gain the extra 200 meters, which may be in Hoedspruit's favor. This was King Regent. I thought he tackled It's Raining William too far out last time out. With a more patient ride, he's going to run a much improved race. Clyde, I went field in exotics.
Really?
Yes. Well, help me.
Wow. No, I'm shocked, but okay. So this is an upset race. Well, I
don't know if there's an upset, but I'll give...
Rockpool, I mean, the man he won his 3 starts ago, then he won the Politician, right?
Yeah.
And I thought he'd end up actually winning the Derby, but maybe that was a bit far. I don't know. He's back in this sort of distance now, isn't it? This 1800.
1800, yeah.
So he's that horse that runs with his head down.
Yes.
He's a
elastic like.
That's a machine.
Yeah.
That's a machine. But if it's not today, well then perhaps it's another. Daryl seems to think there might just be a spook in the pack here. So let's have a look at what we're doing. He's taking pick 3s. He's going the whole field. And interesting, by 3, 4, 6 in the second of the pick 3, the second leg that is, and the race 10 he likes 1, 2, 4, and 7. Welcome everybody. Let's move on to our next event on the card. Take a look at what the plan is over here, and there would be a few, because there are a few from the same form line that have got to have chances here, Daryl. So let's go straight to you and get us through. Talk us through how you see this all playing out.
Yeah, I mean, Night Tiger, Dance Variety, and Kimball O'Hara finished close on top of each other in their later start. Not much separating them on paper because of the weight turnarounds, but I just thought Kimball O'Hara, he was a bit detached from the field last time, and when he got up to them, I don't think the gaps were quite there for him to get into full stride, Clyde. So I actually think he's better than his later starts, and I'm expecting him to reverse the form with Dance Variety and Night Tiger. So for me, Kimball O'Hara, number 4, the one to beat.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just taking a look at the replay. in terms of what you're talking about. You guys can always go and have a look at exactly at what you think. When you look at replays, it always does seem to help. And just in terms of where, Daryl's reference around maybe detached, that did seem,
And
maybe.
what did you see in the latter stages? Could I be possibly onto something?
Oh, you could well be. What price is this horse, Daryl? Do you know? Any idea?
4-1 if I'm
4-1. Okay, so all right. So that's Daryl Marie's first choice. Number 4, Kimberly O'Hara, is priced up. 4-1 is right. The one to beat on market wise is number 6, Dance Variety, who's 3-1, and then you can get 6-1 and better about the likes of number 3, Night Tiger, and so on. So Kimberly O'Hara could be a shooty. That's what Daryl thinks anyway, and he says, let's get in. Priced up Friday, 4-1. Okay, we move on to our next event on the card now. This is the 10th and final out at Hollywood Bets Kenilworth. The number 4, Night Ruler, does top the board here at 3-1. This is a Richard Ferree ride. JP Van der Merwe has taken the other one Royal Watch, while he's riding Royal Watch for Justin Snaith. Those two dominating from the same stable. Pitt Botha's got that also Montine in here that Anthony Andrews is riding as 5-1. And then comes Prometer in the market anyway, that Craig Zaki is going to ride for Vaughan Marshall and must have some sort of claim in a race like this, I would imagine. 11-2. What do you make of it?
Yeah, interesting race, Clyde. Now, Royal Watch on paper is held because he finished behind what was it?
Ruler.
Not Ruler, and he's half a kilogram worse off. But then again, Royal Watch was returning from a layoff and he's going to strip fitter. So, hard to separate the two of them. The Futurist, when this horse gets his fractions right up front, he's very tough to peg back because he's really game up front. Can't ignore his chances. Montine, a lovely sort. I think he's going to love being stepped up to 1800 again. Closer on the pace this time round, he could certainly notch up his second career victory. And then the obvious one is Night Ruler. I went 4 in the Jackpot and the pick 3s, Clyde.
Any chance to Prometer from your side?
I liked him last time. He moved up and he was sort of one-paced at the end. So I'm not convinced with him over this distance.
All right. Well, the interesting about Montine, if you like, is that there was Scalini, who I think it ran tailed off Scalini, but it actually came out and won its very next start. And the second horse to Sugar Mountain, Solar Power, come out to run a place. So maybe that's a Montine sign. That's one of Daryl's horses in the Jackpot, so in his last. But let's have a look. It's the 10th and final race here at Hollywood Bets Kenilworth, and the 1, 2, 4, and 7 is the recommended play. Royal Watch, the Futurist, Night Ruler, and Montine. Let's take that exacta boxed.